It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. This week is a very special treat as it is our first annual Krampus episode. My name is Bryce and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey.
Hello, Jim. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on and happy Krampus.
Happy Krampus to you, my friend, and welcome to the first annual Film Rage Krampus special. This episode, we introduce one special Krampus movie. We each break down one of our favorite horror Christmas-adjacent films. We have a couple special Christmas horror rages, and then, just like Krampus, we eat some children, go to hell until next Christmas returns. Or we just eat some children-shaped cookies and pretend we are Krampus. We're just part of the holiday.
Sounds
kind of leaning
excellent.
towards the first part, but
children are tasty.
illegal. They're tasty. They taste just like chicken.
I didn't know that.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
All right, sir. Well, why don't we just get right into it?
Get her done.
Hey, that's festive. So we are gonna kick it up with a little bit of streaming, Christmas style. We're opening with Fatman, just released on video demand. This is the story of a modern-day Santa Claus who has to make compromises so that he can continue to spread joy to all the good little girls and boys around the world, while also being hunted by a hitman hired by a precocious youngster that got a well-deserved lump of coal in his stocking for Christmas. The cast was darn near perfect, with Mel Gibson as Santa, Marianne Jean-Baptiste as Mrs. Claus, and Walton Goggins as the hitman. The concept of this movie was tremendous. I mean, come on. A kick-ass take-no-guff Santa, grizzled from the years, being hunted by a hitman hired by a spoiled kid that didn't get what he wanted for Christmas. That concept is pure gold. The execution, however, was hit and miss. I liked all of this movie, but loved none of it, I was frustrated as things were happening too quickly without explaining the motivations of the characters. Everything seemed rushed somehow. Everything seems so rushed.
Rush. That's Christmas.
Especially the climax of the movie. The showdown between Santa and the hitman should have been epic. But just as most of this movie, it was over way too quickly without the proper evolution. This movie could have been a classic if they just had spent more time developing the characters and not rushing through every scene. This was truly wasted potential. I was so disappointed when the final credits rolled. I liked the movie, but I should have loved the movie. Makes it a meh.
Interesting. I think we were channeling each other a little bit, because this had a great cast.
Oh, perfect cast.
Yeah. First off, the fat Jew hater, Mel Gibson. Although I hate him as a person, I do like his acting.
Yes.
Not sure how he got a career back for what he has done, yet Kevin Spacey is now pretty much disappeared. Granted.
More time had passed when he came back. So if you're really itching for some Kevin Spacey, you've got about another 5 years.
Well, I was just going to say, Spacey just had some recent lawsuits against him again, so I think that's probably why. And he did make 9 lives, so that's unforgivable.
Wow, and one is a criminal offenses that were committed, and the other one was you're just a racist bastard.
Just a hate crime?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hate crimes aren't punishable.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Maybe not.
Were any charges brought against him?
Well, there should be.
I'm not saying that there shouldn't.
I'm charging him with being a racist Jew hater. Anywho, back to the great actors in this movie. Walter Goggins as the villain and Marianne Jean-Baptiste
So good.
As Ruth, a.k.a. Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
I love the idea of this film. I really hated the little annoying fucker character in this film. Couldn't feel the love for him at all.
Nor were you supposed to.
Yeah, but I didn't. There's a difference between he could have been creepy. Like, here's a perfectly good example of you've seen the movie North.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a fantastic movie. Elijah Wood, my creep crush, is in it.
Yeah.
And the bad guy in that, his best friend, the blonde kid, was stupendous. You hated him, but he was so amazing. This kid, I didn't like him, and I didn't like what he was doing. He just wasn't a great actor and didn't come off awesome. So he doesn't get any love.
Well, fair enough. I thought he did his job. I hated him, and I was supposed to hate him.
Well, I hated him for multiple reasons. One, his character, but I get over that easy. If someone does a good job of it, he did a good job. The film itself, I found it was super slow. The build, not really a lot of suspense through 3/4 of the film. Old Santa sex was awesome, though, including Mel's saggy breasts, which we got to see. Those were fantastic. Liked the concept a lot, but I found the execution was not as great as I was hoping.
Yes.
That sounds almost exactly what you said.
Yes.
The ending had a great big bang, but it took too long to get there. Needed some Santa kicking ass and punching dicks. Plus,
they need to extend that last fight, too.
I know. Or how about this? This didn't make any sense. So first off, they have the army at the North Pole. And this guy who's just some hitman goes and kills them all. And then at the end, he goes into the place where he's hunting all the elves and trying to get to Santa and all that. And there's, at the end, when he comes out of the barn and he blows it up, there's 2 elves that jump on him. Isn't there like 1,000 elves at the North Pole?
Yeah, but those 2 elves sent him out the back. Remember, they want to save everybody.
Right. But then it took them till the end of the movie before they showed up. You had to still fight Santa and Mrs. Claus. And then the other elves come sneaking out. It was kind of like the scene from The Wizard of Oz where
I didn't have a problem with that.
Come out, wherever you are.
It's well known. It's well known that elves are pussies, and there was only 2 of them that had a set.
I don't think so. If there's one, they're like a hive mentality.
Have you seen the Frosty the Snowman, the elf in that one?
Yeah. I also remember the elves in the.
Have you seen it? Exactly. They were a bunch of wusses too.
That was just Hermes. That was the rest of them were kick-ass.
Whatever.
So you think in the 2 that jumped him, all the rest, he's got 9,900 Hermes, and he's got 9,900 Gentis.
I think the predominant thing is that most elves are pussies. It's just the way it is.
No, they should have. Okay, so what I was expecting at the end was like the scene at the end in The Brood, where you have hundreds of little elves fucking some shit up. So, tisk tisk on this movie for not having that scene.
Nah, I didn't need that scene. It needed a lot of things. It needed a lot of things. It didn't need that.
It totally did. I was expecting it would be a lot more brutal fight. It gets a ho-ho, hold the mondo, supernatural meh.
Ho-ho, hold the mondo. I like it.
Best line, the fat man has an eye on you, kid.
Yes. That was a good line. There were actually quite a few good lines in it. It's a fun movie. It's just my expectations were through. Like, after watching the trailer, I was like, okay, if they do this right, this is going to be a classic. And it didn't. Totally. It just didn't live up to that, which is disappointing because it's basically a can't miss concept, and they did everything they could to kind of miss, but it's still worth watching.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I saw it. Yes, sir. Do I wish it had a bit of difference? Yes, sir, I do.
Absolutely. All right, sir. Well, from there, we're going to move on to a Krampus Christmas movie. What do you think of that?
I could not be more excited because last year when we did our Christmas special, we've been mentally planning for this Krampus day for an entire year.
Yes.
And I could not be happier to know we're starting our annual Krampus special with one of the best Finnish horror movies of all time.
One of the best?
Rare exports. Yeah, there's not a lot of Finnish horror movies.
I haven't looked into that.
Right? There's not. So.
But even if there was...
This is still pretty damn good.
All right, let's hear about it.
Okay, so obviously it's a Finnish movie, but there was some co-production with Sweden too, and I think a couple other countries. So a few people got their little mitts into this, which I was kind of happy about. It's I'm gonna brutalize his name, but the director is Jalmari Jalander, and it was written by him as well, and it's based on the original idea by Halander brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Jorma Tomila, Omni Tormila, and Peter Jacobi.
Close enough. That's about as good as you've ever pronounced anything. You've done good,
I know.
kid.
I should be Finnish.
You should be Finlish. That would be Finnish.
I speak Finnish at the best of times.
I am a Finlander.
English. So this was Goonies meets Krampus Finnish style. Gotta respect 10-year-old boys running around in their underpants in minus 30, joining Daddy in the butcher shop as he chops up a pig.
Nice.
Yep. Respect Finland. Total respect.
Yes.
If you're going to make a motherfucking Krampus movie and you haven't got a 10-year-old boy running around in his underpants in minus 30, like, they just like, okay, Finnish people got balls. And this movie has a whole bunch of balls in it. Omni Tomila as Pietri is, again, one of these kids that falls into the 3%. A kid who is a creepy little fucker, but a fucking Krampus slayer, God among boys actor. I love Finnish movies at the best time, but horror are the best. And I love little Omni Tomila, motherfucking Sinterklaas. Yeah, he was brilliant. The nude, dried up man version of him was freaking awesome. Also, his eyes, full dead eyes, so awesome. In Jurassic Park, when the herd of dinosaurs travels in the herd lock/pack formation. Remember that?
I do. Park? I remember that.
So I kind of had the same feeling when 200 naked old men, elves, did the exact same thing in the middle of the Finnish mountains. Covered in snow, it was a beautiful thing. I had a small tear fall from my eye as those 50, 60, 70-year-old naked Finnish men running in formation after their snack. It was, pretty teary-eyed for me. It really made me think Krampus has trained his elves very, very, very well. Cute little Omni, surrounded by hundreds of naked, creepy old elves, was a joyful, beautiful thing. Oh yeah, then they blew up Krampus.
They did.
It was so sweet.
Spoiler alert.
It even ended classic Goonies fashion, celebrating a money fine.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Has a lot of similarities to Goonies in this. Well, then there was the brainwashing, which was also kind of fun. Gets the first present of the year, akin to the Polar Express. First ever Krampus episode in Mondo.
All right. So, Rare Exports was a unique movie. It was really unique. It's about as unique a concept as you will ever come across. It's the sort of monster movie. It's sort of a monster movie with the monster, being Santa Claus, or more like Santa Clauses. I guess the logical thing to do if you're a reindeer rancher and your ranch has been obliterated is to ranch Santas instead.
Hell yeah.
The movie has a slow build with plenty of atmosphere. It is well developed with its characters, and you can sympathize with all of them. The actors are great. The special effects look good. Really, there are no missteps here. I was bouncing back and forth whether this was meh or mondo, but as I talk about the good in it, the fact that there's really no bad, I guess this can't be anything but mondo.
Oh, it's a super mondo. Like it's so messed up and different. Like for the uniqueness alone of this film, it's just, I make comparisons to Jurassic Park and the Goonies, but this is all original. This is a finished masterpiece. This stands at the top of the Krampus Christmas tree with rare exports as the angel.
Yep. No, I really enjoyed it. I actually saw it 10 years ago, and I can't believe it, but I really didn't remember much about it. But after watching it again, I guarantee I'm not going to forget it again. I don't know what I was doing 10 years ago, but for some reason this one didn't stick out in my mind. As I was watching, I was like, oh yeah. And but it is just so good, so very good.
It's funny because I saw it like 10 years ago too, and it's another one of those things. I was like, I remember liking it.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
Like, yeah, but at the time 10 years ago, I was a different person. So now I can sit back and my love for Krampus has grown exponentially in 10 years.
Exponential love of Krampus.
That is right, and I can't wait to see what we do next year.
Well, I can't wait.
Now hit the pinnacle.
If 10 years is grown into this type of love for Krampus, what's going to happen in another 10 years? It's going to be all Krampus all the time.
What is going? We won't even celebrate Christmas. We'll just celebrate Krampus.
We'll just watch Krampus movies all year round. Our podcast will no longer be Film Rage. It'll be Krampus Rage.
Yeah, or just Film Krampus.
Or just Krampus.
Yeah, even better.
All right. From Krampus, we are going to move on to one of my favorite Christmas horror movies.
Yeah, we kind of said let's bring some joy into these poor souls.
So each of us picked a movie, and it's not necessarily our very, very favorite, but it's just one that we enjoy, and we'll be probably doing this every year. So we're going to start out this year with my pick, which is Better Watch Out from 2016. You can see this on Prime currently. In fact, you can see it on a bunch of streaming platforms. It's not just Prime. I think it might even be on Tubi, I think it's on Tubi as well. And yeah, it's all over the place. It's easy to find. Better Watch Out is the story of a home invasion on a quiet suburban street at Christmas time. Or is it? This is one of those movies that you will either really enjoy the ride with its twists and turns, or you will just refuse to even get into the car. If you do, however, get in, keep in mind this is a dark tale with unlikable characters, and I mean pretty much everyone in this is unlikable. It was a movie that I really wasn't rooting for anyone in it. I was just enjoying the horrible situations, the inventive concept, and the tragedy of it all. I liked the setup. I liked the paint can to the face. I liked the attention to detail. There were so many times that I was thinking the same thing as the characters in the film were thinking. How are you going to get away with this? And as the film rolled on, they actually seemed to answer that impossible question. And it was answered to my satisfaction. This movie is not for everyone, but it was for me. It is Mondo.
Sweet. I thought there was one character that was likable.
Who's that?
That was his little buddy, his friend.
You thought he was likable?
Yeah, I was. He was kind of, as the movie goes, he was kind of just going along because he wasn't sure what this guy was about, his friend. He had
an idea.
He had an idea, but he didn't think he could go like this, and so he started to have a heart a little bit through the movie as it started to go on, and you start to see it, right? So I thought the one character was okay.
No.
So I get the opinion that McGee saw this movie as a revenge flick to The Babysitter. Okay, so maybe not sure it had a similar feel to start. But if you think of the two movies together, it's almost like this was the proper, this was the flip side of The Babysitter. As we know, there are 3 classes of CLFs, aka creepy little fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
This one kind of sits in all 3 categories. A, this kid is so annoying at times, I just want to punch him in the face. B, I gotta respect his game. So he gets into the classification of adorable kids. You want to pinch their cheeks and tell them in a cute little voice, aren't you the cutest little serial killer? Who's the big boy? Who's the big boy? Squeeze your little cheeks. But mostly, he fits into the 3rd class, which is creepy little fuckers. Because that's exactly what this little sociopath is. So, super props to the kid who played the main killer guy, because he's the first kid actor that fits all 3 of my classifications of creepy little fuckers.
That would be Levi Miller.
There you go, Levi. You are now an anomaly in the film rage history. I did not know what to expect going into this, as this was a surprise for me. I hadn't seen this film. I found the kills original and true to its Home Alone quote-unquote influences. Had a few sloppy bits through the first part, but once it found its stride, it was running all the way to the bank to cash this little baby-sized Ted Bundy wannabe. Has a real nice holiday feel, and you and Grandma can sit down and relax, dude. Grandma, if you're looking down or up at me from wherever you are, I'm sure you would have helped me make gingerbread cookies, and we would have bonded over this great Christmas family-friendly Psycho Fest. Yes, aren't kids great? Trifecta for the first time ever, Mondo.
Nice. All right, Jim.
I
what was
truly enjoy.
Yeah. No, it was a lot. It's just a lot of fun, and I was actually watching it with someone who did not like it at all, and I was like, what? So as I said, she didn't get in the car. She didn't go for the ride. I was in the car. I was enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I truly enjoyed the ride. There was parts where I kind of wish that we did see things like the paint can. I was really expecting to see more.
You know
but then.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but then I'm kind of glad they didn't. They didn't show it.
I for some reason in my mind, I remember seeing a obliterated face the first time I saw it, and I'm trying to think: is this something that was cut out when they started streaming it everywhere, or am I just remembering it wrong? Because sometimes your brain does that to you. You remember one thing and
fills in the crack.
Yeah. It's like, I always bring up this example because in the movie Reservoir Dogs, my father hated it because of the scene where Michael Madsen cuts off the cop's ear, right? Because he swears to God that the cop came, that Michael Madsen came in with the razor blade there, sliced off the ear, and it showed everything, every gruesome detail, and then he pulled off the ear and the whole deal. When in actuality, he approaches with the blade. The camera moves to the top, to the kind of the ceiling, and gives this weird upward angle, and all you hear is the cop screams. But I think that might have been the same case with me here, is that I just remember something happening, but that's not what actually happened. And I tried to explain that to my father when he was alive, and he's like, no, I saw it. So then I literally had to, grab the DVD and show him that part of the movie. He's like, well, they must have edited it different. I'm like, no, that's what it was in the first place.
Yeah, they didn't do a director's cut for you, buddy.
Exactly.
Well, but that scene is very horrifying, right? Yeah. And the same thing with this movie. It's horrifying.
So even though that visceral image isn't shown, you know what it was, and you create that picture in your head. Because I could have sworn I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, I know at some point they show his face, but they didn't. And they probably never did.
The green paint. They showed the green paint, and then they showed the red.
Yep. But it was well done.
It was a nice delivery. I did fully enjoy that. That was a very nice Christmas present you gave me. A very nice Krampus present you gave me.
Yes. All right.
All right.
And what did you unwrap for Krampus?
I unwrapped Dead End. And so I saw this a while ago, and I kind of forgot about it. And so when I was trying to go and find some Krampus films to watch, it was like, holy crap, I remember really liking this.
Right.
So on Christmas Eve, on their way to the in-laws, Frank Harrington decides to take a shortcut for the first time in 20 years. Turns out to be the biggest mistake of his life.
I love Frank.
Or is it? Or is it?
Frank's awesome.
Director-writer Jean-Baptiste Andrea Fabri and has some writing by Fabrice Canepa, maybe?
Canepa, yeah, that sounds right.
Stars Ray Weiss, Lynn Shay, and Mick Payne.
Yep.
I thought the actors, these actors are all pretty big actors. Like they're kind of B-list character actors.
Yeah, they're character actors. But as soon as you see them, you know them.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, man, what did I remember seeing him in? And then I had to go back and look at all this content. This has everything a fantastic family Christmas movie needs. It's got caroling in the car. It's got a trip to grandma's house. It's got low-budget, cheesy acting. Great cast of B-list actors masturbating by the side of the road as you pull over. Twilight Zone plot, idiotic, wisecracking teenage boy. It's got all the makings of a great Christmas trip to grandma's. I love the randomness of this flick and the complete unknowing of what the fuck is both going on and what is going to happen. All that being said, I kind of thought as I was watching it, I'm going back to the first time because it's just a rewatch.
Yep.
But as I was watching it, I kind of thought, I kind of figured out the ending a long time before it because it's kind of not, I mean, it's a ghost story. You can't avoid the fact that it's a ghost story. And you kind of know. But I kind of like the way they kind of sprinkled things through it as you went on and as it comes to the end. Favorite part was when Mom fondled her exposed brain to almost orgasm and drops dead.
That was pretty good. Lynn Shay should have got an Oscar for that.
I think so, right? Super random, super fun times. Get super Christmas present, Mondo.
Wow.
Oh, wait, you have a favorite line.
Go ahead.
About a Merry fucking Christmas.
Indeed. It's funny that you brought up the Twilight Zone because I love the Twilight Zone, and this was basically an extended version of a Twilight Zone episode.
Yes, it is.
It is a movie that is effective in its ability to manufacture tension as the situation becomes more dire, as well as its ability to focus on the tension within the family dynamic. Oh, and it's also really quite funny. This is a 90-minute ride that is quite enjoyable, even though the destination is not quite as satisfying as the journey. This could have been Mondo with a better ending, but it was still a very worthwhile meh.
I didn't hate the ending as much as you. I still kind of liked it. I mean, it was, you knew it was happening. You knew it was coming. If you didn't know by then, then you're crazy. But what I did like is the fact they got into the hearse at the end. That was. I thought that was the way they had to end it. If they're gonna do like they did and went to the hospital, they had to end it like that. There was no way around it. They had to end it like that. But I mean, there's so many random things in this, and it's kind of the same as the one as kind of Better Watch Out. Right? Like there's
no, it was a lot of fun.
Randomness that's just like, I have no clue. Like when you're seeing this movie, you don't know where it's gonna go. And then when you get there, you're like,
It's one of those cases too where I'm sitting there watching the movie and I'm like, I really need to have a pad and a pen and a pad of paper beside me here because I really should have been writing down some of this stuff because some of the lines from it are hilarious. The dialogue's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, the kid, and then even just when they're in the car, some of the things that they say.
Yeah. No, this was, as I say, a lot of fun. Wish the ending was better, but still worth watching.
It was.
Yes. All right, sir. Well, from there, let's go to some of what we were thinking. By the way, had you seen your selection for this worst Christmas horror films ever before nominating it?
Oh yes, 100%.
You had seen it? Okay, well, I hadn't seen mine. I was kind of going off of what other people said, which you never should do. But my nomination for one of the worst Christmas horror films ever was Santa's Sleigh from 2005.
Oh, see, I was glad that you brought this one forward because I hated it.
Oh, really? See, I did not. But I'll tell you exactly what I thought. So apparently Santa is a demon who has lost a bet to an angel, and because of that was forced to spread joy by giving toys to all the little brats around the world. But through events, the true nature of Santa gets unleashed, and Santa returns to his evil ways. The opening scene is really quite entertaining, as it sees James Caan, Fran Drescher, and Chris Kattan meeting their untimely demise at the hands of Santa Claus. We also get a Dave Thomas appearance, and I must admit, Bill Goldberg as Santa was adequate. The scene in the strip club where Santa wipes down the stripper pole with bleach before touching it and using it as a weapon was hilarious. There were actually quite a few times I was chuckling in this one. I must admit, I now have egg on my face, as this movie that I myself nominated as one of the worst Christmas horror movies without seeing it is actually not that bad. Just goes to show you that the only opinion that really matters is my own. I will never nominate anything else, again, as a potential rage without seeing it. My Christmas horror rage movie was a laugh out loud meh.
Okay, well, at least it only made meh. So, first off, I have to say, FYI, Merman, this has Norwegian all through it. So, you totally missed out by not seeing this for your Norwegian
Plus,
heritage.
It's got Bill Goldberg in it, and he's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, which also caused me to not like it. Okay, so let's begin. As
an aside, by the way, before you get into it, Bill Goldberg actually met his wife on this set. She was one of the strippers.
Maybe she was the one that he cleaned the pole after. I don't know.
Maybe she was. I don't know.
Maybe you have to send him a message. Find his CP answers. So, what the fuck? Fran Drescher, Chris Kattan, James Caan, and Dave Thomas?
Yeah.
This had the makings to be the best movie ever. Well, maybe. When Santa lit Fran Drescher's head on fire, that was the best part of the whole movie. But then, James Caan, Franny got ice. It kind of started rolling downhill like a giant snowball, picking up elves and everything in its path. I think this may be the scary movie Christmas horror film. What do you think, Bryce?
I think you're being too hard on it.
You don't think this had the makings of being scary movie material?
No. Nah.
Oh, I did. It was trying to be funny.
Yeah,
and at times it wasn't. Or maybe the Back to the Future of Christmas horror. What do you think about that, Bryce? Back to the Future of Christmas horror?
I don't even get that one.
Or how about the shitbag Christmas fest crappy horror movie of horror?
Don't like that.
Yeah, that's a little closer to what I feel.
No.
Not sure why the grandpa decided to not tell the supposed Necronomicon story. It's like there's so many things in this movie that isn't finished. Ugh. I did like almost all of the many kills in this movie. So it had a really high death count, and I liked all of the deaths. Death by candy cane, death by James Caan, lighting Fran on fire, death by Reed, death by lime knife, pickaxe, stripper pole, electrocution, burnt stripper, bison, reindeer, exploding presents, Medora, carol tossing, grandma getting run over by a reindeer. Every murder was very satisfying. Okay, so I loved all the killings, but nothing else. The entire rest of the movie was terrible. It was unwatchable. Other than the killings, I kind of want to go back and actually re-record this movie with just the killings, and then I might have actually thought it was a mess. But otherwise, dialogue, not funny. It was trying to be campy, but it just was not funny campy. It was just dumb campy. Story was convoluted and idiotic. The love story component was completely stupid.
I'll
And yeah,
agree.
everything outside of the murders, or should I say slays, were a giant Santa turd sandwich rage-filled present. No,
Too hard on it.
the murders were great. No, it was the movie was terrible. The murders were great, and I couldn't give it a rage or a meh because in between the murders, I was going, what is happening in this stupid story? It was all terrible.
Sometimes you got to get through a little crap to get to the good stuff. It's fine.
No, or you don't. Not gonna happen.
All right. Fair enough.
No. It's
No.
poopy. Just like a giant turd sandwich.
Mm.
And not in a good way.
I see.
Well,
All right. From there,
so
we move on.
talk about one that we both, someone who brought the real joy
Yes.
to rage-filled Christmas.
Yes.
So, I brought forward Elves
Yes, you did.
from 1989. A young woman discovers that she is the focus of an evil Nazi experiment involving selective breeding and summoning elves, an attempt to create a race of supermen. And I don't even want to talk about who directed, wrote, or acted in this movie. So, slapping your grandchild silly, and then stealing your daughter's life savings, then killing her cat is now proper child rearing and proper parent punishing strategies? Huh? This is where I went wrong with my kids, I guess, because I didn't do any of those things. A, didn't kill my kid's cat for no apparent reason.
It was odd.
And then there's one of my favorite things that bad horror movies do is they create elf vision. So you're getting to see the point of view of the elf, which is like not suspenseful in the least. Kid gets almost killed by a fucking little midget troll, his words, not mine. And then they just leave him in his room alone. Like it's like they didn't put any thought around any of this.
No.
So yeah, he may be a liar, but they're not. I mean, there was something event that happened. Like there's every single scene just went from one scene to another that made no sense. By the way, the kid falls into the creepy little fucker I want to punch in the face because he is so annoying through the entire movie. Just a question, but what exactly was the elf stabbing on Santa when he did the Santa stabbing? It made no sense.
I don't know. And
Dan Haggerty? Wow. How did Dan Haggerty ever get a job after somebody saw that he was in this movie? And what the fuck was he doing in this movie? Who is he? And why do we care? Like, they put his whole character in there and he made nothing to the story.
Dan Haggerty, that was the bearded gentleman, was it?
Yeah. That's what was his name? Grizzly Adams or whatever.
Well,
right?
actually, he was the only thing that intrigued me in the whole thing because he kind of looks like Haley Joel Osment these days, and I was just sitting there looking at him. I was like,
maybe
hey,
it's
he
Haley
looks
Joel
like
Osment's
Haley
father?
Joel Osment.
Yeah, well, maybe it is.
I think if Haley Joel Osment grew his hair a little bit longer, got his beard a little scruffier, because he does wear a beard most of the time these days, grew it out a little bit, I think he'd look like this dude. I was just like, look, I wonder if Dan Haggerty is like Haley Joel Osment's father, because I think the age difference, that might be pretty close.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's the only thing that I found entertaining out all that. So every time he was on the screen, I was like, wow, it's Haley Joel Osment again.
Haley Joel Osment's grandfather. The whole ending, so I would talk about how stupid the whole Nazi thing was, but it made no sense, and how everything was connected yet not connected at all. Things like they go to a warehouse the girls go there to party because it's a warehouse.
Yeah, there was
but it's not a warehouse. It's kind of like it was like a mall, but it's not a mall. It's like I wasn't sure what they were trying to pretend that it was, so I couldn't understand any of that. The whole ending is so random and stupid. They go to the department store supposedly, run around and, do stuff with people. Okay, apparently anything about anything is anything. I love how Dan Haggerty goes to check on one of the dead girls and touches her butt. Like, I don't even know what that part was. He's just like, I'm just going to touch her butt.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
cool.
For what reason? And the elf sucking dead girl's hand? Kind of kinky.
Yeah.
Right? The best thing about this film, though, by far, was at the very end, was the sex scene with the girl and the elf. I didn't even know they were having sex.
I kind of like the...
It was like...
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was like, that was elf sex?
I guess it was. I don't know what was going on. I was very confused throughout.
So this gets a rage, what the fuck rage.
Yeah, as I say, other than the fact that it had a Haley Joel Osment lookalike in it, and other than that, it's just hard to watch. I've never been so tempted to just fast forward through stuff in my life as watching this movie, but I sat there and I watched every minute of it, and
you're very welcome.
Yeah, I mean there was, I don't know, I guess the scene where the elf like electrocutes the mom in the bathtub, that was sort of entertaining.
That was a little satisfying.
That was, yeah. But
I love the elf though. Like the elf was like
well, the elf was funny because it was plus its expression never changed. It was like they made a static model of this elf, this creature, and they're like, well, make sure that its face doesn't move at all.
Yep.
Because it was just this clay. I don't know.
Scary.
Yeah.
It'll be so scary.
It's almost as if they like just stopped halfway and they're like, okay, that's good enough.
I think it was like another one of those cases. It was a one take movie.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's okay. Wait a minute, it doesn't make sense why that happened. No, it'll be good.
Move on to the next scene.
Yeah. We'll fix it in editing. So there was 2 favorite lines in this.
Yep.
You've got great big tits, and I'm going to tell everyone I saw them.
Yeah, that was early on.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that made no apparent sense.
It was weird.
Sense.
Like, why would a little brother say that? Like,
I know.
Like, who's he gonna tell this to? Like, what?
When people say, "Hey, buddy, Bryce. Hey, hey, buddy. I'll go to school next day. Guess what? I saw my sister's breasts, and they were big." And you're like, "Okay, that's creepy, dude. Like,
exactly.
Why are you spying on your sister?
Why? And if you do spy on your sister, why are you telling me?"
Yeah, exactly. Because wait, here's the line. You've got big tits, and I'm going to tell everyone I saw them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because she has the big tits that
I don't know. And it wasn't
going to tell everybody.
It wasn't even funny. It was just. It was like, what did he just say? That's his sister.
Exactly, which just made it that much more gross. Or the even worse line, which was, when there's no more room in hell, the elves will walk the earth. This offends me harshly to soil the great dialogue of George Romero with this awful, awful movie. How dare them try to steal a line from the great and powerful Romero.
Yes, that should be a punishable offense for sure.
Yeah, well, it got a super rage from both.
It did get that. So I guess they got their comeuppance.
They certainly did. Yuck.
All right. Well, sir, we kind of flew through this episode, my friend.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to rage about?
I'm all raged out because, man, there was a lot in this episode.
There was enough to get me pleased in a not a creepy brotherly looking at my sister's naked breasts type of way, but still nonetheless I was filled with rage, which always makes me happy.
There you go. All right. So from there, let's move on to this. Little filler. 'cause I am in the wrong screen. Bum, bum, ba, bum,
Yeah,
bum,
we're going to
bum.
have, while we're waiting for you, let's just talk about our fantastic sponsor and how there's some great movies that are playing at Canyon Meadows Cinemas right now
There
before they close
is.
down.
Yes, yeah. If you're living here in Calgary or in anywhere in Alberta, hey, if you're in Edmonton, come on down and go to Canyon Meadows Cinemas. But yeah, we're basically as of this Saturday, Saturday night, we will be closing down basically for 4 weeks. So that is the last day, as far as I know, that Canyon Meadows will be open. But if you rush, if you're listening to us on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, they're still showing a movie we just reviewed recently, Sound of Metal. And this movie is so worth checking out. And if you can see it on the big screen, it is really worth checking out. So you can go back and listen to our review of it. And if you listen to our review of it and that doesn't make you want to see it, then I don't know what to say. But Canyon Meadows is playing it right now. Canyon Meadows Cinemas. They're just playing it till tomorrow, though. So this being Wednesday night. So, yeah. So
same with Possessor, which was also a mondo for both of us.
Yeah. So what is today? Wednesday the 9th. So Thursday, December 10th is your last time to see those two movies, Possessor and The Sound of Metal, on the big screen. Well worth checking out.
Yep. And if you don't, then start renting them come Sunday.
Yes, indeed. So, Canyon Meadows Cinemas, your one-stop entertainment and movie theater experience. Great food, private theater rentals, movies, video games, special events, Christmas parties, and podcasting special events. CMC meets and exceeds all the Health Canada requirements for a safe and healthy physical distancing experience. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a safe and socially distanced seating event, or go online at canyonmeadowscinemas.ca.
All right. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision and photography via Leonard Conlon Photography. Listen to us on podcast streaming site. Find us on all the social media at Film Rage YYC. Check out our website at filmrageyyc.com. We are always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often and please make us rage. Please. But before we close, reminder, next week we'll be somewhat back to maybe a regular episode, but we won't be seeing anything in theaters. We'll be watching the ever raged and dared Maverick. So come back next week to listen to that, plus a whole bunch more. Well, that's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.